From closing deals to opening minds, this is the Mr. D podcast. I'm Omar Andreasen, and we're about to get real about real estate, success, and the grit that it takes to build your best life. Let's dive on in. Hey everyone, how we doing? My name is Omar Andreasen, and welcome to episode number 1 of our brand new podcast called Mr. Deeds. So, Omar Andreasen, aka Mr. Deeds. So, listen, today's podcast is not going to be too long, only because I kind of want to explain what we're going to do, what the podcast is about. So, one of the things we're definitely, I'll go over the table of contents for you. Why not? So, one of the things that we're definitely going to talk about is obviously real estate. And I know when I say real estate means many different things to many different people. We'll talk about hard money loans. We'll talk about commercial construction. We'll talk about construction. Well, are you an investor maybe that's looking to invest out here in the state of Florida or in any state, to be honest with you? And, we can kind of, we'll bring things up where the do's, the don'ts, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. I mean, I'll bring engineers on to have conversations with that, to bring on the show so then they can kind of help you through that process of whatever it may be when it comes to construction. Maybe we'll have mortgage lenders come on. We'll have hard money lenders come on. We're going to have just other real estate agents from other real estate groups come on. We'll have the layman person sit in, and those are usually the best ones, to be honest with you, because they don't know what really happens in the back, like behind the scenes when it comes to real estate. And having them on the show is going to be amazing because they're going to ask the best questions by far. Ask the best questions. So yes, this show will be about real estate. We want to make sure that we cover as much real estate and really give you insight into this amazing little world that is very stressful, by the way. That's number 1. And you know what? Main reason also too, I'll just be honest. One of the reasons why we're doing this is, yes, I love to educate people, but I want you to use us as your agents when you're relocating to Florida. We have other offices here opening soon throughout the different states. But yeah, I want to make sure that when you guys are listening to this, you guys like, you know what? Omar has so much knowledge and a wealth of knowledge that when we decide that we want to move to Florida, move to Georgia, etc., that we're going to be calling Omar first. Because we want to know, no, not want to know, we want to use him. That's what I want to say. So we want to use him to make sure that we get the best deal possible and that he's upfront and honest. So, and that's one of the things that I'm really big on is just honesty all the way through, especially on the show. Because guys, as you're going through this business and, well, one thing you're going to find out is, one thing that I've always found out is sooner or later, the BS is going to be called. You're going to find out sooner or later. So if somebody lied to you about a contract or let's say maybe an issue with the house or whatnot, well, sooner or later it's going to come to light, right? So why not just be honest from day one about the whole situation? And it stinks sometimes because sometimes we don't get the listing because we're honest. It just happens that way. And I'm okay with that because at the end of the day, I don't want to be that agent that just takes everything on, but then that client's going to be upset when they didn't get the results that they wanted, right? So we're going to talk about everything and anything real estate, especially the more important one, all the new rules that are always coming in, being changed. Everyone knows about the new NAR rule, which is not really that. I mean, everyone says it's a game changer. It isn't, and it is slightly in some ways, yes. But, understand that some of these states, that was already done anyways. I mean, through real estate school, we're trained that before you step out, you always have a buyer brokerage agreement in hand. The only difference is that now you have to charge a commission to the buyer. And mind you, doesn't mean that that commission is going to be upheld or that buyer has to pay you that commission, because if that seller decides to pay you X amount and then you're like, okay, you know what, buyer, I know we said 3%, but the seller's giving me 2, so don't worry about paying me anything. I'm okay with this. Just I want to be your real estate agent for life. So I think that's a slight difference. I mean, we've been using buyer brokerage agreements with a lot of our clients from Brazil. I mean, we've been using them now for about 3 years, and not only from Brazil but also here as well. So to us, it didn't really affect our business. I mean, you know what? I tell you what it did though. What it did do, it gave the seller a little bit more power. And what I mean by that is because before it was on the MLS, it was like, okay, 2.5%, that's what's on there. And about 99% of the time, that's what pretty much was given. But now the conversations that we have with our sellers, like, listen, okay, we talk to them about giving a commission on the other side and how it behooves them to do that, obviously. And they understand that. But the conversation that we have with them, and I remember one of the sellers brought this up to us, is like, well, you know what? Listen, we're open to giving that agent 3%, but here's where that's going to change for us. And this is the seller talking. If they lowball us, or if we have to pay some kind of concessions, let's say $10,000, then you know what? We don't want to pay them 3% anymore. We only want to pay them 2 because it's less money coming out of our pocket. And completely understand, and yeah, I'm like, completely understand that, and I get it. So, yep. So I think now what is done is given now the seller can kind of keep more money in their pocket now, okay? Instead of saying, "Well, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give you 3," because now what happens is when you make an offer, then you also have to send in a separate sheet with the commission agreement on there as well that the seller is going to give to the buyer's brokerage. So now, completely different animal. I think that's awesome. It's great for sellers because now you can truly negotiate, which, by the way, commissions have always been negotiable. There's no set fee. There never has been. When all this craziness was going on, everyone was like, oh, well, the standard 6%. Listen, there is no standard. There was never a standard. It was what it was. It is whatever you're worth. Okay. And at the same time, what you negotiate with that seller, because if that seller's in a bind and they're hiring you to sell their house, and you know that you need to do it fast, and you know that they're tight on money, etc., then obviously you're going to sit there and say, you know what? I usually charge X, but are you okay if we come down a little bit and we charge you, let's say 4%? Because we want to make sure that we help you to that next level or that next stage that you're going through right now. Especially if someone's going through a divorce, let's say somebody passed away, etc. It's one of those things that's always been negotiable. So when I was seeing all this talk back and forth, and usually it was always people who are not in real estate. And to be honest, I think that's a real estate agent's fault as well. Real estate agents are not very good at communicating, and making sure that they let the public know. So I think it's great on what just happened because now you're putting the ball back into the seller's hand. Now they can actually negotiate a lot more, put more money in their pocket, and that's definitely going to help the industry, in my opinion, of course. So we'll be talking about things like that. We'll be bringing different people on and kind of hear what they have to say, and I'm sure sometimes the show is going to go a little bit sideways. All of a sudden, there might be one of those squirrels, and then you're moving to a completely different. It's like you're not even on the topic anymore of real estate. Which then I just got to remind myself we got to steer that ship back on course, so then we can make sure that we're giving the audience exactly what they want and want to hear. And you know what? I love hearing from you guys. So if there's something that maybe let's say you're dealing with, maybe you want to talk about, you want to bring a certain matter up, then please feel free to reach out to us and let us know. Say, hey, Omar, love the podcast, but listen, we really want to hear you talk about, and of course, I know a lot of people right now want us to talk about this whole NAR and what's going on with NAR and, the pros and the cons. And it's one of those, yeah, touchy subjects. But at the end of the day, you know what? That's what we're here. We're here to confront those touchy subjects. We're here just to the challenge the challenge the subjects. Let's go. Let's see what we have to say. So I'm excited. I think episode 2, you guys are really going to enjoy. I have a character coming on. So, what once we get him in here and we start shooting for episode 2, I think you're going to really enjoy and really get into what we have for you. So, but like I said, any questions whatsoever, please feel free to reach out. I know this is a short one. I just kind of wanted to give you the lay of the land. Okay. So, yes, Mr. Deed will be talking about real estate. Anything, everything real estate, and even real estate law. We'll throw some attorneys in there as well. Okay, so we'll bring some real estate attorneys on board so then we can actually interview them. Like I said, lenders, anybody, everybody that has to do in that real estate realm, we'll definitely bring them on because we want to make sure that when it comes to education and knowing about real estate, that you guys are well versed without having to take that class and that state exam. So, guys, thank you so much. My name is Omar Andreasen, also known as Mr. Deeds. Please, can't wait to actually shoot the very first true episode, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Have a great day. This is Omar Andreasen signing off and reminding you that success in real estate and in life is built one deed at a time. Until next time, keep it real, stay sharp, and don't forget to give life a big whammo and keep moving forward.